Hello, and welcome back to Sparring Sessions. I'm here with my co-host Dax, and we're just days away from UFC 321, Tom Aspinall versus Cyril Gane. So you know how it goes. We got to talk about these fights. We got to break them down and tell you who we think's going to win. We're also going to add on a Dana White Contender Series kind of retrospect. We're going to go through some of the best fights, some of the best fighters, some of the best finishes on the season. That'll be kind of brief, and then we'll get into the UFC 321 picks. So I guess without further ado, let's just jump right into the DWCS recap. The season's now over. It was a great season, and it was a great final episode. But I'll let you go first with your favorite fighters or finishes or wherever you want to start there.
I think we're going to have a lot of the same overlapping. I think fighters might be different, but I think finishes and fights are going to overlap. So let's do. I'll do fights, and then you do your list, and then you do finishes, and I'll do my list. Probably going to be the same. We can just talk about them after. But fighters, I'm pretty interesting to see where you go here. So I'll do fights real quick. Number one, I wasn't going to order them, but this kind of has to be number one. It's the I just had it. You know the one I'm talking about. Did I close the window?
For fight of the year,
Fight of the series. Oh, here we go. Adrian
Martinetti
Luna
Vlogden.
Martinetti versus Mark Vlogden. This was week 9. I'm guessing this is your number one too. We'll talk about it after. This had to be number one. Number two for me happened pretty early on. Where were we at? This was week 4. Tommy McMillan beating David McGoyan for by majority decision. Sorry, week 4. Yeah. Was this on your list as well?
I actually didn't give that one the rub on my list, man. I kind of forgot about that one.
Wow. Okay. Well, I'm interested to see where else you went. And then the last one, I had all these up, I swear, was this most recent week. We had a banger between, help me out here. Jovan Leka versus Azam. No, I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding. Don't worry. In my opinion, I think the Marwan Rahiki versus Mulumba, I'm not going to try to say his first name, is my number 3. Back and forth. Both guys almost got finished like 5 times. That's my top 3. Did you have that one as well?
I did also have that one. I
Okay.
just it might be recency bias a bit, but man, no, that one was incredible. The fact Rahiki got knocked down bad twice in that first round, like both of
Yeah.
those could have been finishes, and he comes
Oh, yeah.
back and he gets it done. It is one of the craziest things I've ever seen. The comeback was
Craziest.
incredible, and yeah, he deserves to. He's definitely one of the best fights of the
Oh,
season.
yeah. One of the best. Since you didn't have this one, I'm going to talk about it real quick, and then I want to hear your last one. McMillan versus McGoyan. Would this have been your top 5? Let me ask you that.
Yeah, for sure. That like thinking back
Yeah.
on it, that was a really back and forth, really close fight. Came down to the wire. I think it was a split decision scorecards too.
Majority. It was because everybody, or the only one judge gave the first round a 10-8 for McGoyan, which was pretty surprising to me. But yeah, Tommy McMillan, Sean O'Malley teammate, came in here hyped, and Armin Sarukian teammate on the other side. They kind of just went at it. McGoyan almost finished McMillan 4 times with strikes or chokes in the first round. McMillan, you know how it is, stuck it out. McGoyan gasped a little bit, and McMillan won the next 2 rounds. And then obviously the fight we all loved, the Martinetti versus Vlogden fight. I don't know why I keep forgetting those names. That was just one of the fights, true contender series. That was one of the best fights I've ever seen. 3 rounds, almost gets stopped in the second round because of the cut, but they must have thrown combined 500 strikes. ESPN puts it up instantly on their YouTube channel. Dana White gives them both 25K bonuses, and he signed them both. I think it's going to be a while before both of them fight, I'll be honest, but Yeah, you got anything more to say about that fight? And then let's hear your last one too.
I don't have anything else to say about that one, but I didn't. I honestly, I did. I only went with two for the best fights. I couldn't really think of a third, but that McGoy and McMillan one was a really good one, to be honest. Um, yeah, I'm just gonna move right on to the finishes on Dana White Contender Series. I have a couple of these.
Okay.
I'm very interested to see what you think here, but for my first one, I'm going. I think it was week 5. Lebis Nayani against
Oh,
Congdon.
yep.
It was an incredible finish. He came in as a minus 500 underdog, or a favorite, sorry. And as a minus 500, you almost have an obligation to get it done quick or get it done dominantly. And that's exactly what he did. He landed a jab, lead, high kick to the head, no switch or anything. Lands it and it rocks Congdon, and he runs forward with a right hook from hell, knocks him out face down on the canvas. I've been throwing this in training since I saw this.
Really?
I saw him throw this, the jab kick without any switch at all. I love it. It's a incredible thing. Like, it's an incredible
Oh
combo.
yeah.
It's an incredible, like, there's no tell on that kick at all. And the way he throws it was really good. So that's got to be one of the best finishes of the season. Um, my number two, I don't know if it'll be on your list or not, but I went back and rewatched it today, and it was just incredible performance by the guy at 36 years old. Rat garbage, Mando Nallo, man,
Ooh,
come on.
it is not on my list. I shout out. I almost did.
Yeah, he had an incredible finish, and he fought. He was an underdog in that fight against Silva, I think the dude's
He was
name
our
was.
dog of the week, plus 150, I think we got him at.
Yes, he was. And he came out and he landed a nasty front kick on the dude. He landed a couple times in the first few minutes of the fight, and then a really snappy 1-2 after he kind of angled off of the front side of Silva, and he just
Hmm.
nice nasty 1-2 drop Silva, finishes him with ground and pound. It was a really good finish, and I think Nalo's going to do great things in the UFC, so I can't wait to see what he does. But that is, in my opinion, is one of the best finishes of the season. And the third one, I guess that one is closer to an honorable mention. But that the third one I'm gonna say is in the last week. Obviously, Diaz versus
Yeah.
Kwan. That was an incredible spinning back elbow that knocked Kwan unconscious.
Yep.
Korean Zombie 2.0.
Korean Zombie.
Insane finish. And honestly, Kwan was kind of winning the fight before. Like, it was a very close fight, but he was kind of putting the hands on Diaz in that second round.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean that's on my list too. You have two out of my three. Diaz, I mean, spinning back elbow. This is the year of the spinning back elbow. You know, uh, crazy. 458 too, so the round was almost over. Maybe it's one of those he puts his guard down a tiny bit because he thinks the fight's about to rest about to step in, and boom. You already talked about that one. Another one, Jack Congdon, saw him fight live, gets brutally knocked out by Lebos Noyani.
Tough name.
That's a tough name. Oh, we got Nurmagomedov down, right? We can get this. I'll say I'm gonna give a shout out. It's not my third one, but I'm gonna shout out Stephen Asplin knocking out Anthony Quaraccio or whatever his name was. That was just a crazy one. But my number three, and this is gonna transition into that was weird. My number three,
Listen,
and this is gonna transition into um prospects too. I'm just going to bridge us here because he's also my number one prospect of the season. Larian Douglas knocking out Cam Teague,
kind
36
of stole it from me.
seconds. Did you see? Did you go back and watch this knockout as well?
I did. I actually had it written
Oof.
down here. That's why I wanted to. I should have had Mando Nallo as the honorable mention because this was
Uh,
the third finish I wrote
listen,
down.
Cam Teague. I don't know what he did to piss off matchmakers, but listen to the two contender series guys he's faced, Kevin Vallejos and Larian Douglas, and he has like a UFC win. He knocked out Austin Lingo, so he's not bad. But come on, those are Anyway, Larry Douglas and uh, Kevin Vallejos will fight one day, hopefully for the title. That's going to be a crazy fight. I love Larry Douglas. I've loved him. I've been loving watching him in LFA. Some crazy, crazy fights on his record, and he's definitely turned it around, put it together. Dealt with some of the issues he had, striking defense, wrestling. That's how Chepe finished him back in the day. But I think he's going to do some things. I think he's definitely going to be top 15 at some point. Uh, I don't know about champion, but he's sure as hell going to be fun. So since I stole your number one, why don't we run through your list now?
Yeah, let's go for top 3 fighters of the season.
Yeah.
I'm going to
Was he your
jump
number
right
one?
in. My number one? He wasn't my number one. He was definitely on the list of top
Okay.
3,
Okay.
though.
All right.
I didn't exactly rank them in a specific order or anything. That's a whole other can of worms. But I'm gonna give a shout out to a guy I actually picked against because he was against
Ooh.
a pretty tough competition. I thought coming from PFL. I'm going
Ooh.
Magomedov versus Brian Zurcher. That was he finished Brian Zurcher incredibly quick,
Hmm.
and I thought Magomedov hadn't been really tested before. He hadn't really been tested. He was fighting worse competition, and he came out and he showed why he was a favorite against Brian Zurcher and got it done really quickly. I was not expecting a round one knockout here. There was someone in my Discord chat that I guess is friends with Magomedov or something, and he knew Magomedov was gonna win, so he gave me shit
Really?
that I picked Brian Zurcher.
Wow.
But yeah,
I thought
great win for
we all picked
Magomedov.
Zurcher.
Yeah, I think Magomedov is gonna do some good things in the UFC though. He really impressed me in that fight of his. The next one is another guy I picked against. Kind of a bad pick, to be honest, looking back on it. Imanol Rodriguez. I picked
Pick?
against him.
You pick Conceição?
I picked Conceição. He had a lot more experience. He was a lot more battle tested, in my opinion. But you got put out pretty badly, and yeah, I mean, you live and you learn. Imanol has really good boxing. It reminds me of Ilya Taporia, the way he puts the body shots in with the head shots, and he just is trying to find his way to the inside. It was an incredible, really dominant performance by him. I think he's gonna have a good run in the UFC,
Hmm.
and he definitely is a standout. And the last one I'm gonna go with, I'm going with John Pork,
John Pork? I didn't.
Zainukov.
I thought
Zainukov.
he didn't get a contract.
He got the contract.
Did he?
Yep,
Oh, I'm
he
I'm
got
thinking
the
of somebody else. I
contract. He
guess. Yeah. Yeah.
he had a dominant performance. He was like the Max Holloway from Russia, pointing at
Yeah. Fair
the
enough.
he's pointing at the ground the whole time, beating the dude up.
Shout out
Um,
John Pork.
yeah, shout out John Pork. Um, yeah, the guy he beat wasn't incredible Caldas or anything, but he hung it in there until the end with him, and had a pretty good fight with him. But yeah, John Pork beat him the fuck up, and won the contract.
Oh, this is good. John Pork isn't on my list, but our friend Brendan was huge on Caldas and sent me some of his clips. He was a monster in some of his regional fights. Just to outclass him. Your last two, funny enough, weren't on my list. Emmanuel Rodriguez would be like number four, but he just kind of lost. I know it was a split decision. I scored it for Emmanuel Rodriguez, but he lost to Joseph Morales, who I don't rate that highly. I just couldn't put him on my list after. Shout out to a guy, Yakhayev, Abdul Rahman Yakhayev. You remember him? He's already got his next fight booked against Rafael Cerqueira, but he just doesn't have the competition, in my opinion, to be on my list. So I'm going to shout him out. My number two was, or actually number three, since I already gave away number one, Jose Delano from week two. He beat Manuel Esposito. He does have a few losses, but another guy who I think is kind of putting it together a little bit. Great team. And you can, forgive his loss, and he's got some great wins. And then beat a great guy too. My number two is Beisinger Shosherkayev. Week one, right? Yeah, week one. Already, fought the Saturday after. already has his next fight for 322. He's going to beat the shit out of Eric McConaughey. Um, and I'm a big fan. I think they see something with him. Shout out Chechnya. So, yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, I didn't give Susharkayev the rub, but he definitely deserves it. What he did was incredible. The fact that he had that finish on Contender Series and he made
Oh, yeah.
the shortest turnaround in UFC history to fight in 4 days after he fought on the Tuesday. It was an incredible series of events. Despite the Saturday UFC fight that he had, it wasn't the most dominant performance, but he got the finish, and I think he's only going to improve in the future. So I'm excited to
Yeah.
see what he does.
Oh, yeah.
But yeah, is that all you have for Dana White Contender Series?
Yeah, I think this was a better season, I'll say. I wasn't a fan of the last two seasons. There were some guys. I think the matchmakers stepped it up action wise. Prospect wise, seems like they're only kind of going for guys who are going to stand there and throw, only finishers, which say what you will. I'm not going to I've done this thing before. I'm not going to do a whole thing again. But action wise, it was great. Sometimes you do just want to have those cards that you don't care about the outcomes as long as the fights are good, right? Kind of the opposite of the card we're about to break down, in my opinion.
Yeah, yeah. It was a fun season. I'm sad it's over. I always wish there's a few more episodes of Contender Series. Like if they like 3 or 4 more episodes, I feel would be perfect. But
Listen, too much
it's
of a bad thing or too much of a good thing, don't want to ruin
yeah,
it.
exactly, yeah. And yeah, they already take a lot of prospects out of the regional scene and give them a loss. So at the end of the day, we got to keep that regional scene moving, and
Oh yeah.
yeah. But yeah, there's some very good standout guys. Can't wait to see what they do. And I guess yeah, let's move right into UFC 321. Tom Aspinall versus Cyril Gane from the United Arab Emirates in Abu Dhabi in the Etihad Arena. Excuse my pronunciation. How many fights do we have on the card here? There's a total of 14
14, I
fights.
counted, right? Oof.
No fights canceled as of right now, but knock on wood, that can always change.
Hey, Vulture Walker is on this card, and who's the other guy? Ikram Alaskarov, Hamdi Abdelwahab, Umar
Yep,
Nurmagomedov.
yep,
You know, come on, somebody's
yeah.
going to pull out.
Someone's gonna pull out for sure. But let's swiftly jump right into the first fight. Nasrat Hakparas versus Quinlan Salkeld. This is actually a shorter notice fight. It just got made last week, I believe. Like only a couple days ago, really. Nasrat's 18-5. Quinlan Salkeld is 9-1, coming off of a win against what's his name? Yanel Ashmuth before he beat Anshul Jubli. Nasrat Hakparas is, as I just said, 18-5. And he's on a massive win streak right now, coming off of a win over Estevan Ribovic, which, I mean, a lot of people called a robbery. A lot of people had it the other way. But, judges' decisions final. He beat Jared Gooden before that, beat Jeremy Malarkey, Landon Quinones, John McDessie. He's on a run. I'll let you go first. Who are you
Oh,
going
I
in
get to
this
go
one?
first, huh? The short notice is kind of a weird one, right? And the odds represented, it's kind of like it's such a toss up. Obviously, you want to pick Salkeld. Salkeld's more exciting, in my opinion, for the division. Um, that being said, though, I think I'm going Nasrat Haqparast. It kind of sounds weird. 5-fight win streak in the UFC at lightweight. That's kind of tough to do. And some of these guys are good. Jared Gordon, Esteban Rivas are good. And Salkeld, I don't know what we have with Salkeld. Not finishing Ash moves kind of doesn't do it for me. I don't know why they put this fight together. Maybe like Nasrat, he lives in Chicago. It's from Afghanistan, I guess. So give me Nasrat here. I should mention I'm not going to be on bets this week, so this isn't a bet, but You know what? Screw it. Let's make Nasrat Haqparast the best bet at minus 105 in the year of our Lord 2020 2025.
Gonna lie, I'm kind of with you on this one. I
Yeah.
think Quinlan Salkild's a little bit too untested for my liking. I don't think he's ready to go up against Nasrat Haqparast. In my opinion, this is almost like when Rob Font fought Gene Matsumoto
Yeah.
in like earlier this year. It's kind of like that same thing where they're pushing the new guy who just had like a sure he had a dominant fight against Anshul Jubli or and Yanel Ashmuth, but those guys are not on the same level as Nasrat Haqparast.
What are you
And
saying? Ancho Jubilee? Come
oh
on.
come on now,
The
yo,
GOAT?
come on now.
The GOAT?
He's better than Habib apparently to
Oh, yeah.
him, in
He
his
just needs to
opinion.
step two takedowns.
Exactly, exactly. But yeah, Nasrat went to war with Esteban Brimovic, and despite like whatever you think about the decision in that fight, it was a split decision. Like no matter what you think, it could have gone either way. Nasrat was in that fight in the first and third round. Like Esteban probably won the second, but he was debatably in it for every single round of that fight. Got a takedown off in the third round. He did what he needed to do to win that fight, and I don't know. He's got plot armor right now. This dude's got good
Mhm.
hands. He doesn't really have many holes in his game, and a 5 fight win streak. It's hard to argue with. I'm saying he takes home a decision victory over Quinlan Salkild. It might be close, but he's winning this fight. So we move on to the next fight up the card. The heel hook wizard himself. We got Walter Walker, 14-1 against debutant Louis Sutherland, 10-3. This is an interesting fight. So we've got 14-1 Walter Walker coming off of a 3 fight heel hook win streak right now. He just heel hooked Kennedy and Chekchakwu in his last fight 3 months ago. He was supposed to fight Muhammad Usman, but Muhammad Usman, he's a little juice head. Had to pull out of
Who
that
knew?
fight. Yeah,
Usman's.
who would have guessed? Who would have thunk
Do
it?
you know what the Usman's dad does?
PEDs as well.
No, he's a pharmacist.
Oh, okay. It all makes sense. It's all coming together. I'm putting these dots together, man. Now that acne on Kamaru's back makes sense, man.
Oh yeah,
It's that the medicine out of Nebraska.
Nebraska
So
medicine. Yeah. Oh yeah.
2.5 inch reach advantage for Walter Walker, 3 inch height advantage for Walter Walker. He's 4 years younger than Louis Sutherland, who is also on a 4 fight win streak right now. He just beat Luke Newland in his last fight 4 months ago. He was supposed to fight Justin Taffa before Justin Taffa couldn't make the heavyweight limit and
Piggy.
ended up retiring.
Yeah.
So I
Yep.
get to go first in this one. You know where I'm going here?
Vulture Walker heel hook, fourth in a row.
I think I'm going with Walter Walker with his
Yeah.
4th heel hook in a row, which will. I think he's already got the record for most heel hook victories in a row, but I think he's tied for the most submissions in a row currently. So I think if he gets one more, he will have the most submissions in a row. So I'm excited to see if he can get that done, but I'm picking Walter Walker in the first round to rip off the ankle of Louis Sutherland.
Number 13, I believe, ranked Louis or Vulture Walker. Uh okay. So I'm gonna say this. Nobody's been a bigger Vulture Walker fan than I have on this run. Some years ago, I forget his name. There was a guy, like a mid guy, who just won. They matched him up with three wrestlers in a row, and he won all three of his fights by guillotine. Or maybe it was not like one of them was outside the UFC, you know. And then they matched him up with a fourth wrestler, and the fourth wrestler just defended the gilly. He just learned a simple gilly defense, and he destroyed the dude. That's got to happen at some point, right? Somebody's got to learn how to defend a heel hook. You'd think. It's not going to happen today. I'm picking Vulture Walker. Could I see Louis Sutherland just one-shotting him? Yes. Is it going to happen? Maybe. I'm not going to pick it, though. Vulture Walker, let's keep the fun train rolling. Clean monster until the wheels fall off, which they inevitably will at some point.
So we move on to the next fight Up the card is actually a pretty fun fight. Jose
Oh yeah.
Delgado versus Nathaniel Wood. Number 42 versus number 34 in the rankings. Oh my god, we've got a
Hmm.
blockbuster here. But 10-1 Jose Delgado against 21-6 Nathaniel Wood. Um how many fights in a row is Jose Delgado on right now? It's 5 fights that I see on.
7 total.
7 total. Okay. That's a pretty big win streak. He just beat Hyder Emil by knockout. I think that was a short notice replacement too. He
It
beat
was
Connor
early.
Matthews before that, and Contender Series knockout before that. So he's been on a roll since he's been on the UFC radar.
Hmm.
And 27 years old against 32 Nathaniel Wood, who just beat Morgan Charrier and Daniel Pineda. So 2 fight win streak for him. Jose Delgado's got a 4-inch reach advantage, 5-inch height advantage. I'm curious to see who you're going with in this one.
This one's tough. I don't know where to put Delgado because I thought Hyder Emil should have gotten like a top 15 guy. Um, it was not short notice actually. I went back and look. He beat. He was on a 3 fight winning streak and he beat William Gomi, which was something at the time, And then they gave him this guy 2 fights into his UFC career, maybe. What was that? Yeah, a win on Contender Series and a win on what's it called? And then he got knocked out. It was a little early. I went back and watched it, and I don't know where to put Nathaniel Wood. I kind of thought Nathaniel Wood was booty cheeks, but I'm gonna have to pick him here. Actually, what's that? Plus 130, I think. Yeah, I think he can. I think he's going to come in with a game plan. He's a little small, but I think he can wrestle if he needs to. He's definitely, I'd say, the more technical striker. Would you agree with that?
Yes, sure.
And I mean, he's faced bigger guys. Charles Rosa, Andre Fili, Charles Jourdain, Morgan Charrier. This isn't new. And I think as long as he doesn't get clipped, he's got a pretty good chin, though, right?
He does. Not being knocked down anytime. Like,
He got knocked out by John Dodson. Okay, that's and Doctor Stoppage before that. So you know what? Give me Nathaniel Wood here. Um, no idea what happens in this fight though. This is more of a guess. Just picking an underdog, honestly.
I have got to go with Jose Delgado. I can't. Like,
Yeah,
I understand going with Nathaniel Wood, but I picked Morgan Charrier to win that fight. So I can't just like. I mean, I understand he looked really good against Morgan Charrier, but Morgan
style.
Charrier has the same reach. He's not 5 inches taller than Nathaniel Wood, and I don't think he has the same hands as Jose Delgado, and neither does Charles Jourdain, neither does Charles Rosa. I think Jose
Andre Fili does
Delgado. I don't know if that's maybe
2 inches longer
I,
than Delgado actually.
but I don't know if the hands are the same as like Jose Delgado is like I don't know. He's got nuclear heat in his hands, man. This dude is putting people out.
He is.
I'm not gonna pick a knockout, but I think Jose Delgado is gonna win this fight on the feet. It's gonna be a war coming down to a decision, 29-28, 30-27 on one judge's scorecard for Jose Delgado, and that's gonna
Hey,
be the
interesting.
official pick.
Interesting. I'm intrigued. I'm intrigued. I think it'll be a good fight though.
I think it will be. And we move on to the next fight, which is also a pretty good fight. Like we've got some bangers on this one. We've got Mateusz Rebecki versus Ludovic Klein, both coming off of losses. 20-3 Ludovic, 20-3 Mateusz Rebecki, and Ludovic Klein's 23-5-1. Rebecki just lost to Chris Duncan in his last time out. Pretty recent, a month and 3 weeks ago. So he's
Yeah.
making a short turnaround. He's trying to get his name back on the map. Ludovic Klein just lost to Mateusz Gamrot in his last time out, so he's trying to get one over that Mateusz. He's that name. He really doesn't like that name. So we've got a 6.5-inch reach advantage for Ludovic Klein. Same height, so I mean Ludovic Klein's just going to look like a gorilla compared to Mateusz Rebecki. His arm's going to be touching the mat basically. I get to go first in this one, don't I? I'm pretty sure. You went first last time, I
Yeah.
think.
Yeah. This is you.
So I've got to go with Klein here. It feels like the obvious pick. This will be a close fight. Like Rebecki he's always game for a war. But a month and 3 weeks ago, it's just too recent for me. Chris Duncan was pretty dominant in that one, had a good game plan, and even that Miktinbek one. Like, do you remember that fight at all? That was like
Yeah, that was brutal.
one of the fights of the year, and brutal fight. Oralby had him on death's door. Oralby was also on death's door. They were both on death's door. And I just feel like Ludovic Klein's length is going to be coming into play here. He's got really snappy teeps. He's got like his body kicks and his body works very, very good. And I think he's going to just outwork Mateusz Rebecki to a decision. That's going to be my pick.
Yeah, if it weren't such, you remember that Chris Duncan fight?
Vaguely.
He actually went up 114 to 92 on significant strikes. It's crazy.
Okay.
He just got busted up bad, and that was a month ago. That's if it weren't a month ago, it's just everything. It's so many little things. It's the reach. It's um the time. It's Rebecki tries to get takedowns. I think he gets takedowns. He's gotten a takedown every single UFC fight, even his losses. Um, and Ludovic Klein did get taken down. How many times? 6 times by Gamrot. But before then, had never given up a takedown in the UFC. Or sorry, one to Nate Landwehr. And 76% takedown defense. Not against the best, but good enough. And it's like, I guess we'll pick Ludovic Klein. I'm not going to be happy about it. I was never on the hype train. I didn't pick him against Gamrot or Moise. I didn't pick him since Cunningham, but he just kept winning. So I don't like it. This isn't going to be. I think he's just going to make Mateusz Rebecki not fun. I don't like that.
You picked Roosevelt Roberts against Ludovic
No,
Klein?
no,
Okay.
sorry.
All
I
right, all
didn't
right.
pick him against Moises or Bahamondes. Who
Okay.
was the original fighter that he was going to fight?
Nicholas Mata.
I think I
On this
picked.
card? Or
No, yeah, on
for
the.
Rudovic?
Yeah, I think I picked Moda in that fight. Or no, I didn't. Anyway, forget me. Keep going.
Yeah. So we move on to the next fight up the card. We've got to have some stinkers here, I guess, but Abdul Karim Al Sawadi versus Mateusz Camilo. 15-4 Abdul Al Sawadi. Mateusz Camilo's 9-3. Al Sawadi's coming off of a KO loss to Loic Radzhabov a year and 7 months ago. A fight I'm pretty sure he entered that fight as the favorite on the betting
Oh
lines.
yeah,
And
minus 300.
I picked. People forget, man. Loic Radzhabov, I picked. I picked that guy.
I did too.
Mateusz Camilo's coming off of a loss to Gabe Green 4 months ago. Yeah. 2-inch height advantage for Mateusz Camilo. Same reach, 69-inch reach. Al Sawadi's 6 years older than Camilo, who's only 24 years old. You get to go first here.
Yeah, I think I'm going Al Sawadi here. Camilo gassed. Do you remember he was winning that fight pretty handily until he gassed super hard. Gabe Green took over. El Sawadi more than 2 times, 2.5 times roughly, significant strikes landed a minute. He gets takedowns. He also gives up takedowns, but I don't know if this is going to be a huge grappling affair. And he only ever really loses. Like he was up 2-0, if I remember correctly, against Loic. I picked Loic. I'm a big Loic fan, but I didn't think he was going to win, or I didn't think he was winning. He only really loses if he gets knocked out. And Camilo, you look at his record, he's got a few knockouts, but like not in a while, and also on the Brazilian regional scene. So, mileage may vary. I'm not confident in this. I'm not going to bet it. But take note, this is in the Middle East. Al Swadi is Palestinian. Maybe that does a little something. Or if you're, on the other side, maybe Israel puts in a word and Camille gets some scorecards he doesn't deserve. No, but give me El Sawadi here. I don't think Camille knocks him out, but yeah, maybe, probably not, but maybe.
I'm going with Kareem Al Sawadi here.
Yeah,
Yeah, I'm hoping the scorecards are fair. Um, that's my hope, man. I'm
yeah,
hoping they're fair. I'm going with Al Sawadi. I feel like he's got that a little bit of UFC experience. Um, he beat George Hardwick on Contender Series. I feel like that's a good win for him, and he was, as you said, he was doing really good against Loic Radzhabov. Um, in that fight. Like he was right on pace with his significant strikes, and that's going to be my pick. We move on to the next fight up the card. We've got Jacqueline Amorim versus in Mizuki Inui. 10-1 Amorim versus 15-6 Inui. Um, Inui just beat Hannah Goldie 2 years ago. I say just, but that is a long
yeah.
time on the shelf. And Jacqueline Amorim, 4-fight win streak. She fought 5 months ago, tapped out Polyana Viana, and before that she beat Vanessa Demopoulos by armbar, Corey McKenna by armbar, and Montserrat Ruiz by knockout. Very dominant. Amorim, usually when she's in the cage, she's got a 4-inch reach advantage over Mizuki, same height of 5'3", and pretty close in age, Mizuki being a year older. I get to go first,
Yeah,
I
yeah.
think. Um, I'm gonna go with Jacqueline Amorim. I didn't mention it, but Mizuki also lost to Amanda Lemos. That was 5 years ago. So she has barely fought in this past 5 years. It is like she's very inactive. She came in the UFC, beat a random Yanan Wu by
You
split
remember the
decision.
goat Yuanan?
Not a clue. She's a COVID fan, by the way.
COVID
Six
fan.
years ago, that's when she came in. She fought 5 years ago, her next time out, and then 2 years ago. She's the most inactive fighter in the division. You have no idea how she's going to look when she comes into the cage next Saturday. And I hate that. There's there's no upside to picking Mizuki here. Amorim is all the upside, and I'm sure she's a massive favorite against Mizuki. Let me just check that real quick.
Minus
She's a
450.
minus 450. That's crazy. Amorim is going to get this done on the ground. I'm going to say Amorim submits Mizuki, who's never been submitted before, but there will be levels being shown by Amorim.
Oh, you know, it's funny. You look at Wu Yunan, by the way, debuted in the UFC in 2017, lost to Gina Mazzani, and went 1-5. She just fought earlier this year, and she was Kong Wayne's last fight before getting the UFC. Sorry, last year. And she's only 29. Viewed what? Oh, that's crazy.
That is, yeah.
In a way, too, losses to inside the UFC now, Amanda Lemos, Virna Jandiroba, Alexa Grasso, and Karolina Kowalkiewicz, all champions or former champions or title challengers. Well, I guess soon to be title challengers, right? Uh, and that's crazy. But yeah, Emery's going to take her down, sub her in one. In a way, can't really grapple. That's pretty simple, pretty cut and dry, I'd say. If let me put it
Yep.
this way, if Emery loses this, you should cut her from the UFC.
All right. That is pretty conclusive. So we move on to the next fight. We've got Ikram Aliskerov versus Jung Young Park. 16-2 Aliskerov, 19-6 Jung Young Park. Jung Young Park is the older fighter of 2 years, 34 compared to 32. Ikram is the taller fighter by 2 inches, or 3 inches, sorry. And 3 inches longer as well, 76 inches of reach compared to 73 inches of reach. Ikram just beat Andre Muniz 5 months ago, knocked him out, and Jung Young Park is on a 2-fight winning streak by the hands of Brad Tavares by split decision and Ismail Nardiev by decision. You get to go first on this one.
Yeah, this is probably an Ikram Aliskerov win. I mean, Jun Young Park lost to Andre Muniz by decision. Although I thought he won that fight. He's been knocked out by RoboCop. That was a great fight, by the way. And he barely beat Nardiev and Tavares. You remember the Nardiev fight was the one where he was getting beat up bad, and then Nardiev destroyed his eye illegally or whatever with a knee, and he got 2 points taken off.
Yeah.
But yeah, I'm a big Iron Turtle fan. I don't really love this line, minus 270 for Ikram Alaskarov. He probably just KOs Jung Park, but if he doesn't KO him in one, hammer, hammer the Jung Park money line. If you can get it like plus 600, plus 700 after round one, let me put it this way: if I can get it, I'm putting 3,400 bucks down. Ikram Alaskarov does not have the gas tank that to go to decision with Jung Park.
I agree. I don't love going with Ikram Alaskarov. I feel like the dude's still pretty fraudulent, but I feel like he's gonna get past Jung Young Park. Um, and I think it's gonna be a finish. I think it's gonna be a knockout. Nardiev was putting their hands on Jung Young Park, as you said. And Jung Young Park's no Robert Whitaker. You know, he's no Robert Whitaker. Unfortunately, he also got taken down 11 times by Andre Muniz. The last fight that he lost by split decision. Ikram isn't much of a takedown guy, but he has shot one before on Contender Series. He shot one, and he averages at least one takedown attempt a fight. So the option's always there. If it's getting dicey on the feet, he can try a takedown, see how it goes. I don't think Jung Young Park's takedown defense is too incredible or anything, but I'm going to say Ikram Alaskarov knocks out Jung Young Park within the first 2 rounds. That's kind of how I'm feeling. So, yeah, we move on to the next fight up the card, which is... Shout out your favorite fight on the card. We've got Chris Barnett
Shout
versus
out.
Hamdi Abdelwahab. Man, that's a tough name. People forget, man, Hamdi should have lost to Jamal Pogues. But Chris Barnett's 23-9, and Hamdi's 4-1. Vastly different records there. Chris Barnett's 2-3 in his last 5 fights, losing his last fight to Kennedy and Nzechukwu nearly a year ago, 11 months at this point. He beat Jake Collier before that, and Martin Budai he lost to before that. I'm not going to name all of them out, but he's a 2-inch reach advantage over Hamdi at 75 inches of reach. And
Does he really?
He is, and a
Oh my
5-inch
God.
height disadvantage somehow. So,
It's
tell me
crazy.
how that works. He's 39 years old, Chris Barnett. Feels like time flies, man. That dude is like, I did not think he was that getting up there. Hamdi's 34 years old, and he lost his last fight to Muhammad Usman, and realistically, he should have lost that fight to Jamal Pogues as well. Like, I will stand on that. I think I get to go first in this one, right? You went
I'm
first last
jealous.
time. Yeah. And, yeah. I mean, we got 50-50 Chris Barnett and Hamdi, who, I mean, he lost his last 2 fights, in my opinion. I'm
Yeah.
not counting that Jamal Pogues as a win. The judge's decision's final, not in this one. My decision's final. I think Hamdi's winning this fight, though. He's got to get this one done. At a certain point, I can't pick a heavyweight 39 years old Chris Barnett who, like, he last time out he broke his ankle before he fucking started that fight with Kennedy and Nzechukwu. He's doing those jump squats before when Bruce Buffer's calling his name out. Why are you doing jump squats? What is the point of that, man? You're asking for trouble. But I think Hamdi is going to win this fight. It's going to be a sloppy fight. Chris Barnett's going to gas. I feel like he's going to have a heavy first round. He's going to try to get Hamdi out of there. He might land a couple good strikes, but Hamdi's going to take him down. And Chris Barnett's get up ability is not incredible. I'm going to say Hamdi Abdelwahab wins a decision. Or potentially a KO or finish.
Give me. Do you remember? Do you know what his name? I guess you're a COVID fan. Do you remember his name? Maybe he had it when he first debuted before Beast Boy.
Can't remember. No, I don't.
Huggy Bear. R.I.P. Huggy Bear. People forget Chris Barnett was like a. Chris Barnett and Chris Curtis were regional. Like everybody loved them. Hardcores loved them. And they both got signed to the UFC randomly. And Chris Barnett is not a great fighter. Let me put it that way. But is Hamdi Abdelwahab really? Is Hamdi Abdelwahab? 2-inch reach advantage. Hamdi lost to Mohammed Usman on the feet and Jamal Pokes on the feet. Chris Barnett, I would pick to beat both of them, especially now. Against a Kennedy, you remember you remember how he lost that one? No?
Well, he broke his ankle doing the jump
Yeah,
squats,
yeah,
and
yeah.
then he came out, and I think he still tried a wheel kick on Kennedy and checked
He
clean.
did. He did. Give me fun. Give me a great story, a great guy. Give me Huggy Bear. That arena is going to be electric when he's spinning wheel kicks Hamdi Abdelwahab into the second row. And he is my best bet at plus 285.
Best
You
bet.
cannot tell me Hamdi Abdelwahab should be a favorite against a minus 350 favorite against anybody on the UFC roster.
All right, okay, we'll see how that goes. I mean, that's questionable for sure. You seem to love that pick. I mean, I will not
Oh, yeah.
knock it.
Huge Huggy Bear fan.
Let's see what happens. I mean, Chris Barnett's always really fun to watch, no matter what happens in the cage. His personality is very fun, and who doesn't love a good heavyweight slugfest? You
Yeah.
know. So yeah, can't wait for that one. We move on to the next one up the card. Azat Maxum versus Mitch Raposo, 15-2. Azat Maxum, Mitch Raposo's 9-3. Azat Maxum's on a 2-fight losing streak to the hands of Tajir Ulanbekov and Charles Johnson. Mitch Raposo is also on a 2-fight losing streak at the hands of Sumaderji and Andre Lima, both by split decision, despite both of them probably could have been unanimous. But he's hanging in there till the end, you know. Azat Maxum, 5.5 reach advantage, 2-inch height advantage, 3 years older than Mitch Raposo. You get to go first here, kind of serpentine style. Let's see what you got. You had the last pick in the last fight, so now you have the first pick in this fight.
Like snake draft kind of. I don't know.
Yeah,
That's what they call it
yeah.
down here. Yeah, give me Azat Maxim minus 350. I don't love that, but I should mention I don't have any props at all. So if you know that's for you and Will on best bets or however that shakes out. There's not many guys Azat Maxim is going to be like bigger than in the UFC, but Mitch Raposo somehow is. Raposo has lost 2 in a row. One of them to a guy I think is better, or Azat Maxim is better. He lost to Jake Hagley. He lost on Tough. And Azat Maxim can come out. He can strike, kind of. Not real, a little bit.
He knocked down Charles Johnson.
Yeah, okay, fair. He can strike. He can grapple. Mitch Raposo, what's his best one? Let's take a look. Let's take a look down memory lane. I don't know any of these guys. I'm just going to guess that it's 7-4-1 Flavio Carvalho at CES, the Massachusetts regional scene. Shout out. So, yeah, give me Azat Maxim here. Kind of a boring fight, though. Boring pick, probably.
I'm also going Azat Maxum. I mean, Mitch Raposo has not been dominant in his run in the UFC by any stretch of the word. This guy, I mean, I was trying to be a Mitch Raposo truther for a little bit, you know? I'm trying to give this dude credit. It's like, he's got a chance against Andre Lima, guys. You know, his grappling's really good. But then, no, Andre Lima denies a lot of the takedowns and just beats him up on the feet. And then he gets Sumaderji. I'm like, guys, he's going to be able to take down Sumaderji. He's going to be able to do some work on Sumaderji. He takes down Sumaderji 6 times in that fight, but still only lands single-digit significant strikes against Sumaderji, who he had a massive reach advantage on Mitch Raposo and was able to beat him up on the feet, and he won that fight pretty handily. Azat Maxum, he was putting hands on Charles Johnson for at least a minute of the first round, and he put Charles Johnson down, but Charles Johnson got back up and beat him up to a decision. But I do still respect Azat Maxum's striking, and his potential, I think, is definitely higher than Mitch Raposo. And that reach advantage is sizable.
Guarantee.
And Azat Maxum also has an 85% takedown defense. He's going to be stopping most of the takedowns of Mitch Raposo. At least, like, I'd say if anything, he gives up 1. Would be the most takedowns he gets in this fight. And I still think that is questionable. Tajir Ulanbekov took this guy down. Charles Johnson took this guy down. But I don't think Mitch Raposo is probably on the level of them. But who knows? I think, if anything, he's getting taken down once at most. But he's going to stop at least 5 out of 6 takedowns. That's my guess. And I think Azat Maksum is going to win this fight on the feet. It's not going to be a knockout, but he's going to lap Mitch Raposo in significant strikes, and he's going to win a decision.
Yeah, probably.
So, yeah, that is the pick. And we move on to the next fight up the card. Umar Nurmagomedov versus Mario Batista, which was actually one of my favorite fights on this card. So I'm excited that I get to break this down first for you.
Hang on a second. Is Azat Maxim versus Mitch Raposo the like fight they're trying to get people to buy the pay-per-view for, and not Huggy Bear versus Hamby?
I mean, you could put either one in that slot and it would sell tickets, right? But I think the topology order might be off a bit, because when I Google it, they actually have Ikram versus Jung Young Park as the featured prelim. So the order might be off on topology, but we're going on topology order. So the final prelim bout was Azat Maksum versus Mitch Raposo. The first one on the main card listed on topology is Umar versus Mario Batista. 18-1 Nurmagomedov, 16-2 Mario Batista, and in the end of the breakdown last week for whatever fight night was last week, I'm blanking on that. I said this is one of my favorite fights.
Vancouver.
Yeah. I guess it would have been Vancouver. Yeah, okay. I guess it would have been Vancouver, the fight night we're about to watch. But yeah, Nurmagomedov is coming off of a loss to Merab, a fight where he won the first 2 rounds and broke his hand, and had a very, very, very close fight with Merab. And that was 8 months ago. Mario Batista's on a massive win streak. He just beat Patchy Mix in his last time out. People forget, man. Patchy Mix was champion.
He was a serial killer.
Yeah, people forget, man. Jose Aldo, he also beat. He beat Ricky Simone, Damon Blackshear, Guido Canetti, Benito Lopez, Brian Kelleher, Jay Perrin.
He's
beat the real who's who. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 fight win streak for Mario Batista. Same reach, 1 inch height advantage for Mario Batista. And he's 3 years older than Umar Nurmagomedov. I'm going with Umar Nurmagomedov to beat Mario Batista. This is going to be it could be a close fight depending on how good Mario's takedown defense is, because that is what Umar's going to be doing. He's going to be going for the takedowns in this fight. Mario Batista's defense is 67% for takedown defense. Hasn't been taken down many times in the UFC. Really, going back, he hasn't been taken down since he fought Corey Sandhagen in 2019, Mario Batista. Or, I mean, the fight after that, he got taken down, Jin Soo Sun. But most of the time, or Jay Perrin also took him down. Okay, Jay Perrin was the last guy to take down Mario Batista. But I think Umar Nurmagomedov is going to shock Mario Batista. I think there's always a physicality shock, when a lot of these guys fight the Russian, the Dagestani guys. Nurmagomedov manhandled Corey Sandhagen in that fight. It was a close 50-45, but he dominated Corey Sandhagen on the ground. He was able to take him down a lot. Corey Sandhagen was trying to roll out of these positions. He couldn't. Umar is very good at the transitions on the ground and staying on top. Very dominant. And his hands aren't bad. He was very close on the feet with Merab until he broke his hand. I'm going to say Umar Nurmagomedov wins a decision against Mario Batista. We finally get rid of Mario Batista. I've been waiting for the day.
I'm going to push back against one thing you said. He did not dominate Corey Sandhagen on the ground. He had 5 minutes and 11 seconds of control time, and most of that is from the 5th round where he had 2 minutes and 36 seconds. Corey Sandhagen, you forget, he got taken down a bunch, but he just he actually I listen to a number of analysts, I think it's Jack Slack, I want to say, who was kind of talking about how he just gave his back and that's how he escaped, because it was pretty funny. But yeah, I think the 2 ways you beat you can say most Nurmagomedovs. I think you can say this about Islam too. There's two ways you beat them. Number one is you out cardio them. Uh, think Barab, think Dustin kind of almost did it too. It was 2-2. If Dustin had won that last round and not gotten finished, that's kind of what happens. Or the other one, you just knock him out. You hit him with a shot, right? Like who's the guy who knocked out Islam? Um, Martins, Adriano Martins,
Yeah,
right?
Adriano Martinez. So.
Yeah. Or like a Michael Johnson round three. You're too young for that. Mario Bautista has neither of those. I think he's going to get taken down. I think he's going to lose on the feet too. I don't like it. It's going to be boring, but yeah, give me Umar Nurmagomedov. I don't want to give him a title shot, though. I don't think he gets a title shot after this.
He'll be calling for one.
Oh, yeah. And
He'll,
nobody's going to be listening.
yeah.
Maybe he gets
I agree.
the Nurmagomedov Russia Middle East privilege. Speaking of Middle East privilege, by the way, a little bit of sport washing here. We didn't mention it. What do you know? What time this fight card is starting at? Prelims,
10 a.m.
10 a.m. Do you remember when Tom Aspinall, was this his last fight? Yeah. Do you remember what time Eastern Tom Aspinall last fought?
Yeah, when he fought Curtis Blades, it was a 10 p.m. start time Eastern.
Yep. Midnight. I think they walked out at 6 a.m. London, and they had that pay-per-view main card started at 10 p.m. This time it's going to start at probably like what, 1 p.m. Eastern, 9, 10 p.m. So they'll do Vegas time for the pay-per-views. That's our hard and fast rule, unless a little bit of money comes in, huh? Just funny.
A little bit of money.
Ugh. Sport
They
washing,
got
man.
a bit more than a little bit of money over there, man. They got a bit
Yeah,
more than
yeah.
a little bit.
Shout out.
Shout out the blood
Hey,
money.
we can be bought. We will stop saying bad things for some of that
Yeah,
money.
yeah. But yeah, quick. That was a nice little sidestep, and we
Yep.
move back into the picks. The next fight up the card, we got Alexander Rakic versus Azamat Murzakanov, 14-5. Rakic versus 15-0 Murzakanov. 3-fight losing streak for Rakic. He just lost a unanimous decision to Magomed Ankalev, and before that lost by KO to Yuri Prohashka. Before that, getting his leg blown up by Jan Blachowicz. Azamat Maxim on a massive win streak right now. Just beat Brenson Ribeiro. 15-fight win streak, I guess you could call it. He's undefeated. The dude is knocking out every person, except for Dustin Jacoby. But,
He lost that fight.
do you think so?
Dustin Jacoby won. Yeah.
You think so? Yeah.
That was a pretty bad night for judging, if I remember correctly. That was one of like 2 robberies on the card.
Okay. But this is an interesting one because Murzakanov is at a reach disadvantage of 6.5 inches, 71.5 compared to 78 for Rakic. And he's also way shorter. He is 6 inches shorter, half of a foot shorter than Alexander Rakic. 3 years older than Rakic. And I think I get to go first on this one, I believe, right?
No, you did the
No.
you did
You
the
get to go
Nurmagomedov.
first.
Yeah.
You get to go first.
I thought Murzakanov was going to be a bigger favorite. I thought he was going to be like minus 180 or something. He's minus 114. And I'm going to make Alexander Rakic one of my best bets. I don't have too many left on this card, I'll be honest. But yeah, he's been knocking out Brazilian taxi drivers, right? And Alonzo Manifield. Wow. But I thought he lost that Dustin Jacoby fight. Rakic is a bet. He's only lost 2. He took a round from Magomed Ankalaev. He won the first round against Yuri. He was 1-1 with Jan. And split decision lost to Volkan Ozdemir. I don't remember that fight. Oh, yeah, that was one where it was like 5 a.m. It was a Korea card. It was 5 a.m. our time or something. He's not great. but I think he can beat Murzakanov. Huge reach advantage, huge height advantage, probably stronger, probably um, he's more in shape too. I'll tell you that. You just look at him. So, give me Rakic. Give me him as the best bet. I think he can make it ugly. I think he can, jab and leg kick his way to we'll call it a split decision win, and then he's going to get knocked out or something by I don't know, Bogdan Guskov next. Who knows?
Hmm. Conflicted.
Yeah,
I am conflicted because Alexander Rakic looked good the first round against Yuri. You know, he was beating Yuri up in that fight.
yeah.
I think he dropped Yuri early, or he doubled the significant strikes of Yuri in that first round, but then he
Yeah, it
kind of
was he
gassed out Yuri.
tore up his
Came,
legs.
yeah, and Yuri came back in that second round and put him out. Is my concern. I mean, he beat. We just saw how good Magomed Ankalev really is, man. So
Yeah.
I don't know how much stock you can put into a loss to
All
that
right.
guy.
All right.
I'm going Azamat Murzakanov, I think. I'm
Wow.
going Azamat.
Are you making him a best bet
No,
to go head to head with me?
I will. Because I think
Wow.
Murzakanov is going to knock out Rakic.
Wow.
Dude, his hands are legit. I mean, at a certain point, you got to stop. You got to stop doubting the guy.
Yeah.
He's knocking everybody out. And he's rank number 14 in the division, going up against Rakic, who's number 11. This could be a step up if he gets this done. He could enter the top 10. You know, he could.
I think they'd set him up for like a number one contender.
Yeah, yeah, well, yeah. He's on a massive streak, right? So
Yeah.
the reach advantage is one thing for Rakic, but I could see him gassing out even if he had a dominant first round against Murzakanov, and I could see Murzakanov also coming out in the first round and just starching Rakic. So I'm
All
gonna say
right. Wow.
Murzakanov wins within the first two rounds by knockout.
Wow. I better hear something about that on uh, uh, whenever we do best bets. I guess it won't be me, but
Yeah. And we move on to the next fight up the card, which is Alexander Volkov versus Jailton Almeida. 38-11. Alexander Volkov versus 22-3 Jailton Almeida. 6-7 or 6'7" for the height of Alexander Volkov. 4 inches taller than Jailton Almeida. 1 inch taller at 80 inches of reach for Volkov. He is 3 years older than Jailton Almeida. And he just came off of a questionable split decision loss to Cyril Gane. Jailton Almeida's on a two-fight winning streak, beating Alexander Romanov and Sergey Spivak, both by finish. I get to take the reins on this one, and I think this is going to be a close fight. I'm kind of worried about my pick here, but I'm going Volkov to beat Jailton
wow.
Almeida. The dude, he beat Cyril Gane. Let's talk about it how it is. He beat Cyril Gane in that fight.
Yeah. Yeah. He
If
did.
if you get to say Dustin Jacoby won, I'm saying Alexander Volkov beat Cyril Gane. Um, Cyril Gane was not doing anything in that fight. Like the numbers say one thing, but you go and watch the fight. Go and watch the fight. Volkov won round 2 and 3 easily. Um, Jailton Almeida just isn't. He hasn't really fought the good guys in heavyweight, and when he did, Curtis Blades put him out of there quick. He put him out of there quick, and Alexander Volkov always gets underestimated. He always gets undervalued. This guy has legit boxing skills, and he's very long and lanky. He is against the long guy too. He doesn't have a big reach advantage or anything, but he has a very snappy jab. He has a very good striking base on the feet, and he doesn't really get taken down too much. He's got 72% takedown defense. He did get taken down a couple times against Cyril Gane, but he also took down Cyril Gane, and I just don't see Jailton Almeida being able to rinse and repeat his same game plan that he comes into every single fight with. The dude has no stand up. Alexander Volkov is going to win this fight on the feet. It's going to be either TKO or decision, I'm saying, for Alexander Volkov. That'll be probably what I bet, TKO or decision for Volkov.
This is one of those fights for me that's like mommy and daddy are fighting again. It's I'm a huge fan of both of these guys. That being said, I think Jailton Almeida is going to murder Alexander Volkov. you look at their go to Volkov's Tapology page. He lost in 2020 to Curtis Blades, 14 takedowns from Curtis Blades. Okay. Since then, how many wrestlers or grapplers, would you say that um, he's fought?
Would you call Tybura a grappler?
Probably not. I don't think there
Romanov?
were any takedowns attempted in that fight. Oh, wait, he went 0 for 16? Jesus Christ. I don't remember that fight then.
Romanov as well. Like
I'll
Tom
give you both of them.
Aspinall.
Give you both of them and Tom Aspinall. Now, you gotta poke holes a little bit there. Volkov, or not Volkov, they're both named Alexander. Romanov was super fat. That was his return to fat Romanov, and he didn't look good at all. And Tybura, I don't remember that fight at all. That fight must have been really, really boring. But Tybura is not a great wrestler either, like historically. So he's fought one guy who really was good at wrestling, who wanted to wrestle him, and he rinsed and repeat. Tom Aspinall beat the shit out of Alexander Volkov, and he's just fought nobody since. And I mean, um, you look at Almeida, sure, like, and that's the other thing. He's not like uh, he's not getting tested that much. Obviously, he's working, but Gelton Almeida, yes, there's the Curtis Blades one, but he also took down Curtis Blades 9 times in that first round. And I mean, like, Volkov can KO, but he's not a KO guy. It just
Depends who you're
screams.
fighting though.
I guess there's some guys he should have KO'd who he didn't, though. This is an Almeida victory for me. I don't really want to make it the best bet because I love both guys. Almeida minus 3.5. If it's plus money, you're gonna have to give it to me. We'll put in a hesitant best bet. Maybe somebody can steal that from me at some point. But yeah, give me Almeida here.
All right. So we move on to the co-main event of the evening, women's vacant strawweight title, Virna Jandiroba versus Mackenzie Dern. Virna is number 3 in the division. Mackenzie Dern's number 7, 22-3 for Virna Jandiroba, 15-5 for Mackenzie Dern. Virna Jandiroba is on a massive win streak, winning the last 5 of 5 of her fights. Mackenzie Dern on a 2-fight winning streak, losing to Amanda Lemos and Jessica Andrade before that. But she just beat Amanda Ribas by submission and Lupita Godinez by decision before that. 5 years younger for Mackenzie Dern, who is only 32 years old compared to 37. She's 1 inch taller at 5'4" and 1 inch of reach less than Virna Jandiroba at 63 inches of reach. You get to go first on this one. So who do you got in the co-main? This is a rematch as well.
Yes. Virna won the first one. Split decision, was it? I think it was mainly on the.
I think it was unanimous.
Was it?
It was unanimous.
It was weirdly a stand-up fight, if I remember correctly. We're really living in a world where Mackenzie Dern is going to be a UFC champion. I hate Mackenzie Dern, okay? I don't like Mackenzie Dern one bit. I think she has not worked at all on some of the things that he really should have, or she should have. I think Virna's the better grappler here, but I think Mackenzie Dern is a better striker, and they really, 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 really seem to love Mackenzie Dern. I don't know why. It's I don't know, super weird. That being said, it's like it feels like they're just setting up Mackenzie Dern, right? Without saying who you're picking, feels like they've kind of done whatever they could have to kind of worm her into the title shot, you know? So I'm picking her. I don't like it at all. I don't think anybody should bet money on this fight. But what are you gonna do here? What are you gonna do? This is like hang on, let me look this up. Is it 319? No. It was one of the title fights this year where you just kind of like know what they're setting up, even if you don't like it. I don't forget it, but I don't like it. It's gonna happen. What are you gonna do? Let's just move on. Well, not actually move on, but move on so that we can be done with this fight. Yeah,
So you're pretty confident Mackenzie Dern.
yeah, yeah. Unfortunately, I cannot repeat enough how much I do not like Mackenzie Dern.
That's interesting because I'm going Virna Jandiroba
Ooh,
to beat Mackenzie Dern in this
okay.
fight. Um, Now listen, but since that first fight took place, I think Virna Jandiroba has had more strides in her career than Mackenzie Dern. I think she's improved more than Mackenzie Dern since that first fight they had. Mackenzie Dern did win. She outstruck Virna Jandiroba. She did get taken down in that second round.
Dern won, really?
Yeah, Dern did win that first one. I think,
Okay.
yeah, we might have made a mistake a few minutes ago saying Virna won. But yeah, no, Mackenzie did win. Um, it, Dominant performance by Mackenzie Dern, but I think she has stagnated. I will say
Yeah,
she has been taken down a lot. 25% takedown defense on paper. She got taken down twice against Amanda Ribas, twice against Lupi Godinez, twice against Lemos.
yeah,
If anyone is, I think like Virna also got one takedown in that first fight. So if she can lean on that grappling a bit more, this is a 5 rounder. This is
yeah.
going to be a long, drawn out fight. I see Jandiroba having a lot of grappling moments in this fight, and I think her stand up has improved. I don't think Viren is a pushover on the feet. That Lemos fight kind of showed me that. Like she was hanging in there with Lemos on the feet, who I think is a good boxer. I think Jandiroba is going to win this fight by decision. It's going to be a close fight, but I think on one
Yeah.
scorecard it's going to be 49-46, and two it's going to be 48-47 for Virna Jandiroba. I think she's winning this fight. She's getting that belt, and it's going to be the worst era of women's strawweight that we've
Oh,
seen in a while.
UFC so cooked. It's the age for me too. You got to remember, she's 37 years old. Eh, I don't know.
That is big,
This
yeah.
this is one of the downfalls. This and a
Yeah.
serial
It
gun.
pains me to pick against Mackenzie Dern. It really does. I would love to pick Mackenzie Dern, especially if she won the title, if she ends up winning.
Yeah.
It would be a
Listen,
great moment, for all of us watching with one hand
eh,
around the world. It'd be a great moment.
that's all you. That's all you, buddy.
All right.
That's all you. More of a. I'm more of a. God, there's nobody funny I could make that joke about. Chris
Eileen
Barnett guy.
Perez.
Chris Barnett guy.
Okay.
But yeah, if I'm not giving away my pick, if Cyril Gane wins and either of these two ladies win, it's a dark day in the UFC. Very dark day.
Yes. Yes. And speaking of Cyril Gane,
Oh
we
yeah.
get to move on to the main event of the evening, UFC Heavyweight Championship. The heavyweight undisputed champion of the world, Tom Aspinall,
Yep.
15-3 against former UFC interim heavyweight champion Cyril Gane, 13-2. I get to go first on this one, man. I'll run through some of the. We've got Tom Aspinall, 78 inches of reach, 3-inch reach disadvantage to Cyril Gane, who's at 81 inches of reach. But Aspinall is an inch taller at 6'5", 3 years younger than Cyril Gane, who's 35 years old. And Cyril Gane's coming off of a split decision win over Alexander Volkov, as I said. And before that, he knocked out Sergey Spivak. I think it was body shots that ended up beating Sergey Spivak. It was like a broken rib that
Yeah.
he had. Like you could see his rib poking out.
Yeah, it was bad.
Um, Tom Aspinall, 3-fight win streak currently since his knee injury against Curtis Blades. He has been absolutely untouchable. Shortest fight time, I think he probably still has in the UFC. I'm not sure if he's lost that record yet. I can't see him losing that record anytime soon. The shortest average fight time. The dude's got nuclear like heat for hands. He's very powerful. I'm not going to waste time on this one. Listen, Cyril Gane lost to John Jones 2 years ago, 2.5 years ago, and there was a time where young Genie was gassing up Cyril Gane. I was posting Cyril Gane with the
Wow.
with the interim
Wow.
belt around his waist on my Instagram story. This was before I was posting content, man. Cyril Gane was at one point my favorite fighter. And for a very brief time,
Wow,
this
you said that
guy,
into a live microphone? Whoa.
I did. I was like, man, this guy's the future of heavyweight. I was comparing him to LeBron. I'm like, this guy moves around. He's jumping. He moves like a
He,
middleweight. He moves like a lightweight. He's incredible. This guy, he's gonna beat Ngannou, and it was a close fight with Ngannou, but then he couldn't get up off of the ground from Ngannou. And then John Jones takes him down and makes him look like a little fool. And Cyril Gane has no warrior instinct because he's from France. Listen, Tom Aspinall is going to batter this guy. Tai Tuivasa knocked this guy down with an overhand. Tom Aspinall is going to flatline Cyril Gane under half a round. It's going to be no different than the others. Cyril Gane is washed, and I'll be the first to admit it. It was a bad pick picking him against John Jones. I will admit that was a bad pick, guys. But Tom Aspinall would have flatlined both of these guys. And Cyril Gane, there's a reason he didn't want to fight Tom Aspinall before Tom Aspinall had the belt. There was a reason he didn't want to take that fight, and there's a reason Tom Aspinall ended up fighting Marcin Tybura instead of Cyril Gane that month. So, Tom Aspinall is going to do what he was supposed to do that month, and he's going to flatline Cyril Gane, who obviously didn't want to take this fight, who's been more focused on his movie
movie
star
career?
role.
Yep.
He got a movie role. Oh, good for Cyril Gane. He's not focused on fighting, and he's not getting that belt back. Tom Aspinall's flatlining Cyril Gane under half a round.
Yeah. I mean, I think he's going to take him down and sub him, but same thing. When you get taken down, how many times was that? 5 times by Francis Ngannou. When you get taken down and subbed immediately by John Jones, who isn't really a finisher at all. I mean, like 2 takedowns from John Jones, 4 takedowns from known wrestler Francis Ngannou. Yeah, Alexander Volkov took him down a bunch. This is going to be easy. He doesn't have the gas tank either or the defense to try to test Tom, take him to deep waters. Um, and Tom isn't going to play the technical kickboxing game that Cyril Gane loves to play. So easy, quick pick.
And that is all the picks on UFC 321, which is going to be a blockbuster card. I cannot wait for this one. This has been seeing Tom Aspinall fight, man. It's a good weekend for me.
Oof. I hope he wins. If he doesn't, if he loses, imagine John Jones on social media. Yep.
Yeah, he'll be even more bricked up than when he saw Hasbulla.
That was crazy.
That was. But we move into I guess it's regional minute time.
Regional minute. I'll be quick. UFC is about to start behind the curtains, so we got to go watch. Who's up first? Oh, Melissa Croden. Maybe I'll take like half an hour. No, I'm just kidding. UAE Warriors, kind of a light week, by the way. Wednesday, noon, UFC Fight Pass. Amru Magomedov, great prospect, lightweight, going to be in the UFC soon. He's going to destroy a guy, probably get in the UFC. Asaf Shakurov, same kind of deal, bantamweight. He's going to beat up DeMarte Pena and get into the UFC. I think that's about it. There's somebody else on this card. Anyway, ECA 194, Thursday at 10 a.m., also in Abu Dhabi, in Dubai. Mira Akbari, that guy from One, is fighting Tony Johnson Jr., that guy from Bellator, and One, I guess, in the main event. Pretty cool. Ali Bagov, ACA guy, is fighting Davi Ramos, a former UFC guy, in the co-main. Pretty cool. This is a great card. And then there's also somebody guy. Oh, you remember Said Yakub Kakramanov?
Not really.
He was the guy who almost beat Said Nurmagomedov. Anyway, old UFC guy, great dude, fighting some dude, James Gallagher. Remember that? You remember that guy? Lookalike. Is fighting a Ali Al-Qaisi, also a former UFC guy. Kudson Abreu, former UFC fat heavyweight, is fighting some dude. And I think that was it for former UFC and Bellator fighters. But pretty cool card, I will say. I'm going to be watching. PKFC 83, Saturday at noon, kind of going head-to-head with UFC. Chris Camozzi. You remember Chris Camozzi? I guess when did he leave UFC? He was in the PFL. Anyway, 20 fight UFC veterans fighting in BKFC, their champion. Should be pretty interesting, if I do say so myself. PKFC was always fun. Saturday at 7 p.m., LFA 220. Got Casey Tanner versus Michael Sear. Two guys. Casey Tanner's on the Contender Series, so he's going to look to bounce back. Christian Natividad in the co-main. Kevin Natividad, former UFC fighter, a few fights down the card. Brothers there. Yeah, I think that was it. They had a fight cancel. Oh, Kevin Rosas. Tough Enough 149, 7 to 8 p.m. UFC Fight Pass. Diego Brandao and Kai Kamaka 3. They're having them fight for a third time for some reason. Lightweight championship in the co-main. Maki Pitolo, shout out Coconut Bombs, is fighting some dude. They were going to have Justin James, that guy who bet his entire paycheck on himself. And that is it. That leads us into next week's UFC card.
So next week's UFC card, we've got Steve Garcia versus David Onama. That's an Apex card, I'm pretty sure.
Oh, yeah. Oh, 100%.
So on that card, Steve Garcia, David Onama main event. Co-main, Waldo Cortez Acosta, Auntie Delia. Dante Johnson versus Nick Klein. Isaac Dolgarian versus Yider Diwali from Contender Series. Philip Rowe versus Ko Seokhyun Ko. It's backwards on Google. It's Seokhyun
Say
Ko.
that 20 times fast.
I want to hear what your most anticipated fight on this card is.
I won't go to the main event. We never go to the main event.
Oh, there's
This is a
also
great
Miles
card.
Johns versus Muin Gafarov.
This is not a great card, is it? I'll probably say, God, Cedric Dumbass on the card. Ugh. But you know what? Fuck it. Isaac Dolgarian versus Yadir Del Valle is a sick fight. Two up-and-coming prospects. Two guys who can grapple, who can kind of strike. Yeah, why not? Should be a fun fight, I'll say that.
For my favorite fight on this card, I'm going to go to the co-main. I think
Ooh,
Waldo Cortez
heavyweights.
Acosta and Auntie Delia is going to be a very good fight. Delia, Tom Aspinall just said if Delia goes on a run, makes it to the belt, then Tom Aspinall's vacating for Delia, which is interesting. That's interesting. But I think this is going to be a good fight. This is a banger heavyweight matchup, and Cortez Acosta has been pretty game on the feet recently, and he's going to be against a pretty good striker as well in Ante Delia. So that's going to be a pretty good fight. That's my most anticipated on this card. And yeah, that's all we have for you today. That is the UFC 321 breakdown, Dana White Contender Series retrospective, whatever you want to call it. Sad to see that come to an end. And I'm sad to see this episode come to an end, but it's always a pleasure.
We have to watch women's bantamweight now. Great timing. Melissa Croden is walking out right now.
Yeah. So yeah, let's wrap it up, I guess. If you like this video, make sure to like, comment, subscribe. We'll be back here for more soon. And thank you for watching.
Adios, BJ